Hi, everyone. On Family Affection. That is the title of Chapter 11 of Book 1 of Epictetus' Discourses. And in this discourse, a man comes to Epictetus and is telling him about a recent illness that his daughter had, and his daughter had become ill, and ultimately he got so upset by it that he actually had to leave. Um, and so Epictetus, kind of stops him and asks him um, if he thinks that was the right thing to do, to leave his daughter, when she was ill. And the man answers Epictetus that, he thinks it is a common thing for fathers to love their children so much that they would not be able to stand to see the children suffering, and so this is a common thing among fathers, and so then Epictetus sort of brings up this idea of what is natural versus what is right. So natural, was it natural to love your daughter so much that you can't stand to see her suffering, so you left? Or was it right that he then left? And so that then, sort of becomes the main sort of theme of the discussion. The Epictetus brings up the fact of, like, why did you leave? Like, why would you want, if you were ill, would you want your loved ones to leave you? What if she died? Would if she had died among people who didn't love her, would it be better for her to die with those who love her there with her? And apparently in the story, the child's mother stayed with her, as did her attendants, so she wasn't completely alone. But Epictetus is really directing this then, to the father. I think this is a very important life lesson, because the father is using this idea of love. Of he loves his daughter so much, he can't stand to see her suffer, so he has to leave because it hurts him too much. And Epictetus really reminds him, to analyze, what it is, what is the state of his mind? Is he? Epictetus actually equates it to a person who might be at a horse race. I don't really like that analogy, because I think in general it is unethical to use non-humans for sport. So I won't use that analogy, but maybe. Another case would be like maybe your child is competing in a tournament of some kind, and you can't. They're maybe running a race, and it's close between them and someone else, and you just can't stand to see it, so you hide your eyes, and then the outcome. Or maybe some other your child is on maybe doing gymnastics, and you think they're going to fall, and so you cover your eyes because you don't want to see it. So you're actually, when you do that, you're taking yourself, you're removing yourself from that situation. And is that because of love, or is that because of fear, or some other emotion? So Epictetus really is reminding the man, to be aware of his mind, the state of his mind, and if that is in fact natural. And then to likewise weigh on his actions. Was that the right thing to do would be to leave, so knowing the state of your mind, and knowing then if you're acting, if your emotion that you're having is the correct one, or if you're and then if you are actually following through with the correct action for the situation. Epictetus does go on to make it very clear that different cases are different, so every case would be different and would require this sort of exercise where you would need to analyze your mind to see if if the emotion that you're having is the appropriate one for you, and then if your action follows through. Epictetus sort of macros this up to the country level to show us that what might work, what might be natural in Egypt might not be natural in Syria in the cases he uses. And so that the person would need, they, and then in Rome, would need to, figure out what's natural for them. And so the individual would be likewise need to be determining what's natural for their state of mind, for their situation. So, I think that's a very important life lesson, this idea of what's natural versus what's right. And I think it can apply not just to parents and children. I think a lot of times that with our loved ones, with parents and children specifically, but also with our loved ones in general, sometimes with parents and children, in the name of love, they do all sorts of things like they might. Maybe discourage the child in some pursuit that they feel like is not worth the child's attention or time, that the child really feels like would complete them as a person, but the parent may not think that this might not be a good thing for them to pursue because it might not provide stability or a good income or whatever, so they try to discourage that, and they're doing this out of love, but really, maybe that parent would need to actually investigate what their mind really is, if it's fear or if it's love or if it's, just exactly what emotion that they're coming from. And I think that's a good reminder actually for everybody's interactions with those that they love, because ultimately, our interactions with those nearest to us have a great impact and can impact our own well-being as well as those around us. So I think I will leave this discourse at that very important life lesson to contemplate. And the next chapter is on contentment. That will be chapter 12 of book 1, so stay tuned for that. Will be coming up soon. That's it for now. Take care. Bye.